Hello England fans, hello. This squad has finally been announced. What do we think? I said I'd do a live stream following this. I mean, 33 men to start off with is what he's come out with. We knew it was going to be a provisional squad. I think they're now calling it a training squad. So he's taken everybody, hasn't he? He is really taking everybody. So we've all been debating, how does Southgate decide who stays, who goes? He's just literally taking everybody, apart from 2 or 3 players that, surprisingly, but rightly so, haven't been picked by Southgate. So we'll come on to that. But I mean, what a day. I mean, it was almost like the worst kept secret. By the time the squad was announced at 2 o'clock, everybody knew what it was anyway. I mean, I don't know where I mean, did he leave his squad on the bus or something? Because it was the worst kept secret. Coming up to 2 p.m, almost everybody knew who was in and who was out. And it seemed quite early on, a lot of people were making it, and it seemed quite certain that this was going to be a chance for Southgate to have a look at some different new players. And we'll come on to the squad, but welcome all. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Great to have you with me, and please join the chat. That's what it's here for. We're all here to talk about this pretty remarkable squad. I mean, it makes you feel like I wish we could take 33, because 7 players have to be dropped from this squad. We're going to have a look at that in a moment, who those 7 players may be, but I don't envy him. I do not envy Gareth Southgate at all. It's such a tough decision to whittle this squad down any further than what it already is. But it's, yeah, what a squad. So let's have a look. Let me load up the squad for you, in case you've been living in a cave. In fact, let me get the talking points up. For those of you that don't know, on these live streams, usually I will get the talking points up here and we discuss these. So, Euro 2024 squad, the 33-man squad so far. The starting 11, we'll have a look at that, because we do have some better understanding now of who's going to the tournament, even though there's still a lot of players to whittle down here. 7 players to be cut. We're going to have a look at that. Who are going to be these 7 players for Southgate to cull, really? And Sterling and Henderson dropped, and I think you can obviously then include Marcus Rashford in that as well. I don't know why I put Sterling and Henderson. Let me change that. I meant Rashford. Let me change that. Sterling has been dropped though, of course, as well, but nobody's bothered about him, are they? So let me look who's on chat. So Charlie, welcome Charlie. Nice to have you with me. I think Southgate got it spot on. I feel for Rashford and Henderson, but their presence threatened to become a distraction. People can't really accuse Southgate of not making those hard calls. No, I absolutely agree with you. And evening to you as well, Tom. Finally, Henderson dropped. Has Southgate finally come to his senses? That's from Stan. Well, maybe, but, you know, in the past, Southgate historically has dropped players when they've needed to be dropped. I know people say he has his favourites, but Phillips hasn't come in. He's dropped Sterling before. He's dropped, obviously he's now dropped Rashford, Henderson now. So I don't know that Southgate always picks players completely out of form, but I really did expect Henderson to go. I was unsure on Rashford. I did think he was actually going to be not dropped anyway, sorry. But as the squad got larger, I thought maybe he's going to sneak on the plane. And I'll be honest with you, if I'd have known he was picking a 33-man squad, I'd have been pretty certain Rashford and Henderson would have been in it. But not to be, which I think is brilliant. I do honestly think it's brilliant. And it is on those 2 players, but if we're being brutally honest, they do not deserve to be there, do they? At all. So, hi Gary, hi Josh, welcome. So let's shall I load up the squad? Let's get the squad up. That's what we're all here for, isn't it? So hang on a minute, I'm gonna have to move to the side. You're gonna have to follow me around here. So there's the squad. So Dean Henderson, Jordan Pickford, Aaron Ramsdale, and James Trafford. So one of those is going to be dropped. We're not going to take 4 goalkeepers, surely. Surely we're not going to take 4 goalkeepers. Jarrad Branthwaite. Now, this is one I'm really excited about, and we'll come on to some of the key problem areas here, because even with a 33-man squad, there is still an area of the pitch here that I'm worried about, and I can see online a lot of other people are worried about as well. But Jarrad Branthwaite deservedly comes into this squad. I've just realised I've got the club up on here. Let me change that. Let me change this over. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. If you're new here, hit that like and subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. Join in on the chat. It's all about the England squad. Let me change this around. England squad. There we go. So, looking at this, then we've got Lewis Dunk. Now, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't have been surprised or disappointed if Lewis Dunk was dropped, because he was so poor against Brazil, and Belgium in particular. But he's there, and I think he may be one who's at risk of being dropped. Joe Gomez, deservedly so. Mark Gahey comes in. Esri Konsa, who a lot of people were calling for. Harry Maguire. Kwanzaa, interestingly, comes in as one of the players, uncapped players, along with Jarrad Branthwaite. You would probably expect, you probably would expect both of them two players to be dropped. But who knows? Who knows? Luke Shaw is a surprising inclusion because he's not fit. He's not fit. And Southgate's actually alluded to the fact that he still probably won't go or may not play a feature or part in this Euros. I am surprised Shaw is on there and not some other players, which we'll come on to in a second. We've then got John Stones, no-brainer. Kieran Trippier, despite his injuries, probably a no-brainer. And Kyle Walker, who obviously is a cert. Now, the first thing here is that left-back position. It's really weak, isn't it? There's no depth there at all. Did I say Ben Chilwell? Wait. Is this... Where's Ben Chilwell? Have I missed something here? I've not even realised. This is and this is why. Because the squad is so damn big... I've only just realised Ben Chilwell is not in that squad. That is remarkable. That is even... I just thought for some reason Chilwell was there. Now this is even more surprising then. Because I was going to talk about Tyreek Mitchell being a left footer and a left back not being picked. Why did I not clock that Ben Chilwell wasn't there? I'm glad. I am glad because he's not good enough and he hasn't been good enough. Wow. That is really... I don't know why, but I just assumed Ben Chilwell was in that squad and I've not clocked that he has been dropped until just now. So, I did clock it live, yeah. I mean, this is the problem when you're picking it up at work and you're rushing home, jumping on a live stream. But Ben Chilwell dropped, and it just emphasised the point I was going to make anyway, which is about that left-back position. The fact is, who's our left-backs? I mean, we picked Joe Gomez. Joe Gomez is probably a left-back coming there. I mean, you're looking then at Walker and Trippier, aren't you, playing left-back? Luke Shaw's not fit. That left-hand side of the pitch isn't great, and that is even more than surprising. Even more surprising that Chilwell or Tyreek Mitchell hasn't been picked. I'm absolutely gobsmacked. I am absolutely gobsmacked. Wow. I mean, is this a new Southgate we're seeing here? Because I can't believe that. I cannot believe Chilwell has been dropped. Not because I don't think he deserves it. I just thought with the players we've got available, he was a cert. Wow. Josh Phillips, congratulations on 2K subs. Thank you so much. No, in fact, thank you. Thank you all so much. 2K. I never thought I'd get 2 subs. Never mind 2,000. So thank you all so much. Absolutely brilliant. I put a new target on of 3,000. Let's just keep going up. But look, I'm grateful if it stops here. 2,000. Hand on heart. Genuinely. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you all so much. Let's get back to this, though. But, I mean, let's have a look. Jarrad Branthwaite, I want him to go. I want him to stay. Lewis Dunk goes. Joe, I don't mean goes to the tournament. I mean gets dropped. So Dunk comes out of that for me. Joe Gomez stays. It's interesting between Gahey and Konza. That's Konsa, sorry, not Kwanzaa. I'm going to have to watch my pronunciation on those two there. I mean, I want Branthwaite. I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? Who's our 4 centre-backs? I mean, Maguire and Stones, absolutely. Branthwaite. Who's the 4th choice centre-back? And who's our full-backs? Kyle Walker and Kieran Trippier. Gomez. Yeah, that left-hand side looks so weak, doesn't it? It's just so weak. I can't believe Chilwell's not in this squad. Why did I not clock that? Why did I not realise Ben Chilwell wasn't there? When you read something and you just assume the word's there, but when you look, it's not. It's just, that's bizarre. But anyway, right, fine. No Chilwell, but that left-hand side really is surprising. Let's get into midfield. We'll come back. We'll have a further look. I don't want to get caught on the defence here. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Conor Gallagher, Curtis Jones, deserved call-up, but I don't think he goes. Kobe Mainoo, definitely. Declan Rice and Adam Wharton. How interesting it was that I dropped a video only 5 days ago regarding Elise, Eze and Adam Wharton from Palace, who really deserve to go. I mean, Elise's arguably French, but not so much. I don't know. We'll leave that one. But Adam Wharton was a player that a lot of Palace fans were highlighting. Not an awful lot of people have been talking about. In fact, I'm in some very big WhatsApp groups in the minute, and a lot of people have never even heard of him. So for a lot of people, they won't have heard of Adam Wharton or know much about him. But from everything that I'm hearing, seeing, he thoroughly deserves his call-up. Whether he goes in the 26th, though, is probably unlikely. However, this brings us on to that central midfield area. There's obviously no Phillips. He was never going to go anyway. No Jordan Henderson. And when I heard that today, I assumed then that Dyer's then a shoo-in. Kieran Dyer would be a shoo-in. If there's no Henderson, Kieran Dyer would be that player who's relatively on form, playing games. I thought Kieran Dyer's definitely going. He's not even there. So look at this from a Gareth Southgate, who no one would have thought. Look at the youth that is in that central midfield area, and arguably the lack of depth. I mean, looking at this squad, he's going all out attack. He's seeing attack as his best form of defence here, and make of that what you will. I'll just go quickly to the chat. So someone said, I just don't like the defence options. No, me neither. Josh, you deserve more subscribers. Oh, thank you so much. Mr. Pizza Delivery agrees. Thank you. And Shaw might not even go because it's a long shot. I don't think Shaw will go. I don't think he's going to be fit. No backup for Ice. Well, let's have a look at that in a second. Match Channel, hi Matt, welcome. Darius, no Grealish, good. Grealish is in here. Yeah, Jack Grealish is in here. Yeah, I always say Kieran Dyer. I always say, that's my generation. I always say Kieran Dyer. If I say Kieran Dyer, I mean Eric Dyer. And I don't know why I always say Kieran Dyer, because I wasn't even a big fan of his when he was playing, but it just rolls off the tongue for me because of my generation. I absolutely mean Eric Dyer. Disappointed that Mitchell was dropped by the rest of the squad is fine. I'm hoping the 3 that I don't want to get dropped afterwards. I mean, it's great. It's great that I am surprised Dyer wasn't there. As soon as I heard that Henderson wasn't going, I just thought Dyer was definitely going to go. I'm really shocked at what he's picked. You could argue then that Conor Gallagher, is Conor Gallagher a holding midfielder? Who is? Kobe Mainoo maybe for Rice. There isn't a Rice replacement there, is there, at all? Maybe Trent. It's a difficult one. Let's get into the forwards. Everyone's a forward now, aren't they, by the looks of it? Jude Bellingham, Jared Bowen, Eze, Phil Foden, Anthony Gordon, Jack Grealish, Harry Kane, James Maddison, Cole Palmer, Bukayo Saka, Ivan Toney and Ollie Watkins. Now, dropping players from that list, midfielders and forwards, you wouldn't want to be... I don't want to be Gareth Southgate. I do not want to be Gareth Southgate dropping 7 players there, because who are we dropping? Who are we dropping? Sterling is not here now. So, I still can't get over Ben Chilwell not being there, and I can't believe I didn't notice. So it's just crazy. Tamori on options here, or better than Dunk. Yeah, I would argue Tamori's better than Dunk. Someone's put White, but White was never going to go. He's ruled himself out, hasn't he? He was never going to go. It's a shame because there's definitely a job in here for Ben White. I think the defence is the weakest area. Josh Phillips, Southgate always gets accused of only picking his favourites, but can't be accused of it this time. Really exciting squad. People are struggling to find something to hate Gareth about now. I mean, you can't criticise the squad. I mean, how many players are there? I mean, there's a few, but how many players truly are there when they don't deserve? I mean, most players are there based on form, aren't they? They're absolutely based on form. I mean, you're looking at Branthwaite, you're looking at Mainu, I mean, Wharton, they're all there on form. Could Chilwell still be called up if Shaw can't go? I don't know the rules, actually. I don't think he can. No, yes, he can. He can. The final squad is going to be submitted in... Let me have a look. So this needs to be cut by... I've got it in my diary. It's not long. It isn't long. Because obviously it's not long till the tournament now. The final squad... It needs to be submitted by the 7th of June. So that's before... It's on the day of England's last friendly game against Iceland. So against Iceland, the final squad needs to be submitted, so we'll know them. Too many number 10s. I mean, there's a lot of people. It's a very tight group, isn't it? There's a lot of people fighting for not many positions in that forward area. But it's just outrageous, the squad he's got available. It's ridiculous. I mean, there's no Sterling, there's no Rashford, there's no Sancho. And I know these players aren't playing the best football, but in most of the squads, they are going. And, people aren't even bothered that they're not included, such is the talent that England now have. Johnny Spark should have been included. Johnny, I wouldn't know, God. I wouldn't even have him doing the laundry. I wouldn't even have him as the kit man. Very good squad. England should make it to the semi-finals or final. I see no reason for Chilwell to go when he isn't getting game time at Chelsea. The reason for Chilwell to go is because we've got no left backs. I can't believe he's not picked Mitchell. If Chilwell wasn't going. Saw people arguing about who third choice goalkeepers should be. Tells how good the squad is. Well, yeah. I mean, who cares, really? I mean, out of those goalkeepers, I'd like to see James Trafford go. Let's give the goalkeepers a moment here because everyone's going to be breezing over them. But I think the third choice should be James Trafford. They're never going to get a game. He's a young player. He's England future number one. Let's just get him to a tournament, get him experience in it. Who you pick out of Dean Henderson and Aaron Ramsdale, I hope and pray neither of them play any minutes because... Pickford's by far our best goalkeeper. Chuck Trafford in, and I'm not bothered. I mean, I would pick Ramsdale, but I could. Well, no, in fact, no, would I? I don't know. I'm not. I honestly, I couldn't care less, and I couldn't decide. I think Reece James not being there is wrong. What if we play three at the back? We won't play three at the back. We know we don't play three at the back now. We play a back four. I can't see us going to three at the back. The problem is Reece James has got poppadoms for ankles, so he can't stay fit for more than 2 games in a row. And in a squad that's so stacked with talent, look, Reece James playing, fully fit, he goes, certain, but he's just not, and he hasn't been for a long time. Pickford, Henderson, Trafford, simples, yeah, I'd agree with that. But I mean, other than that left flank, and when I say left flank, I mean left back position, left wing back, that England squad doesn't have many holes. Maybe, the depth in the central midfield area, in that holding central midfield area, isn't quite there neither. But I don't think Gareth Southgate cares. He's clearly made his mind up how he wants to approach this tournament. Is he approaching it as a man with the last throw of the dice? And I don't mean in some sort of desperation move, but it's got nothing to lose now. It's more or less, he needs to win it to stay in a job. If he still wants to be England manager, he needs to win it. So there's no point playing it safe. And is a little bit of that coming through? Is this the squad of an England manager going to his first tournament? I don't think so. I think this would look very different under Southgate with his first tournament with England. I think now he's just throwing caution to the wind and going for it. Josh, what annoys me is that people see Holland pick Wijnaldum playing in Saudi, and France picked Conte playing in Saudi. But if Southgate picked Hendo, he's a bad manager. People love to hate Gareth. Well, there are people who love to hate Gareth, absolutely. But I think he's right not to pick Henderson. I really do. The only thing, and this is what I came up to before, that there's a lack of experience in that central midfield area. Yes, you've got Declan Rice there. Look at that centre mid though. There's no experience in there. Is that a Euros tournament winning midfield? I'm just going to leave that there. I don't know. It's exciting. It's bloody exciting, but it's inexperienced. I've got to go, but thanks, Gareth, for an awesome stream. So excited to follow the channel. Fingers crossed for England go deep. This channel deserves it with the squad we should. Brilliant, Tom. Hope you have fun, whatever you have to do. Even when Reece James was fit, I think he was overhyped. I think he was only good under Tuchel and Potter. Yeah, well, I think he goes if he's fit in this squad. Whoever plays on the left better be ready to help track back. I would rather Jordan Henderson than Conor Gallagher. Interesting take. How can you question someone's ankle integrity? Well, he's never fit, Shane. He's never fit. Or maybe Stones. I mean, I think the thing is, I'm looking here. Who are the 7 that's dropped? One goalkeeper gets dropped. I mean, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Arguably 3 defenders get dropped. Maybe that midfield stays the same. No, maybe 1 or 2 come out of the midfield and 1 or 2 in the forward line. I think who's at risk here? Obviously, one of the goalkeepers. I think Branthwaite's at risk. It's Kwanzaa because they're inexperienced, never played for England before. I think Konza and Gahey are at risk. And Dunk. I think he's at risk. Curtis Jones in midfield. Adam Wharton, I don't think goes. Let's be real. And then Eze, Bowen, Gordon, and Maddison. Those 4 may be at risk. But then I've been on about this before. Do we need 3 strikers? Do we need both Ivan Toney and Ollie Watkins? The problem we've got there, and we've discussed on this channel numerous times, Ollie Watkins has been the better player this season by a long way. Arguably, one of England's best players, him and Cole Palmer. The problem is, though, is that Ivan Toney is the target man. More of a like-for-like swap for Harry Kane. We saw how isolated Ollie Watkins can be in those Brazil and Belgium game. Well, in their Brazil game in particular, and how much Toney was coming in for Harry Kane. That's the problem you have. Maybe he takes both of them. Maybe. It's a shame we couldn't try out Jude, Trent and Rice midfield in March. Well, it'd also be interesting who gets a run out in these friendlies. I mean, really, he's only got the first game in Newcastle to try it out, because by the Iceland game, he needs on that day he needs to have decided. So he's only really got against Bosnia. This is, I mean, they've been calling it a training squad, haven't they? So he's going to see what he wants to see in training. He'll probably know 5 out of the 7. Well, he probably knows all 7, but I would argue 5 out of the 7 are dropped already, and 2 might be fighting for the place. Particularly in those forward areas, your likes of Bowen, Gordon, Eze, Maddison, those sorts of players where you could interchange any one of those. I think they're fighting for a place. Slightly surprised Dyer didn't make the squad. He's good enough for a Champions League semi-final. I am very surprised given the fact of who else didn't make it. Matt's channel, my 7 dropped are Ramsdale, Gahey, Dunk, Gallagher, Jones, Eze and Bowen. He's good, but we have enough in his position. Maybe drop Kwanzaa. Yeah, I mean, the problem is I want to take either Branthwaite or Kwanzaa. And I would take Branthwaite. He's an absolute unit, and he's more of a like-for-like placement for Harry Maguire, sorry. I'd like to see him go, but he's not going to take Branthwaite, Gahey, Konza and Kwanzaa and Dunk. I mean, Dunk, he really, after his performances in those last friendlies, probably shouldn't be anywhere near this squad. I'm sure Bellingham will be rested for the Bosnia game. Yeah, I mean, well, will he experiment on that Bosnia game, or is it a case of he just wants to see some of these players in training? Drop Harry Kane because of the curse. Yeah. No Harry Kane, no Euros, in my opinion. The most important player we've got, which isn't breaking news to anybody. It's just, yeah, that the midfield and the left-back position in particular, the two areas that worry me. And when I say worry, I don't mean they're absolutely disastrous. The left-back in particular is probably the hard part. But it's, yeah, it is our weak area. Just looking back up the chat, Jury, glad that Rashford isn't going. Very lazy, average player, and doesn't deserve a spot in the England squad. Hard to argue against after his performances this year. Accused very often of not looking bothered, of being quite lazy. I think that's a fair judgment on Marcus Rashford, personally. Watkins and Gallagher never impressed me when it comes to England. Are they good enough? The thing is we don't play the way Watkins plays for his club. So he does become a little bit isolated. Gallagher's been a bit hit and miss for England. He's been solid in the past, but he didn't have a good run out last time. He needs to this time. We need him. We need another good central midfielder in there. Maybe Mainoo's that lad who comes in. Maybe Adam Wharton impresses in training. Who knows? Honestly, Dyer should have got in instead of Dunk. I think that's a fair argument, given the fact that probably Dunk is getting dropped anyway, and Dyer can play in two positions, and he brings the experience. So I think that's quite a fair point. I don't think England will win the Euros this year. In reality, the winner is going to be from France or Germany. Okay, Darius writing England off there. Thomas Hill sure won't be fit. I'm surprised he didn't take another specialist left back. I think that's the left back is really. It's just astounds me how little depth he's taken there, and you might say, well, there's no options there, but there are some other options he could have taken. Chilwell for one, and Tyreek Mitchell. He just seems to be resigned to the fact that Trippier, Gomez are probably going to be our left backs. I'm praying Luke Shaw's fit, but I think even today he came out and said he's not going to be. I don't remember Gallagher having a good game for England. No, neither do I, but he's not always been as bad as what he was in those last friendlies. He's usually been quite solid. In a few weeks, we're all going to saying that we'd have won the Euros if he'd have a decent left back. Let's hope it doesn't come back to bite us. It's the end of the day, it's now the time for someone to step up. It is now the time for someone to step up, isn't it? In that left back position. Watkins was brilliant when he came on against Belgium. We didn't score the equaliser without him on the pitch. Gary knows how much I rate Watkins. Yeah, no, we did. He was the one who... He was a pain, wasn't he? He was a pain. But he was isolated so much against Brazil. Southgate has proper thrown me with this squad. Thought the squads were quite predictable, but he's changed out a lot of the players that have been his core. I back him, but confused by some choices. How is it that Gareth Southgate's more or less picked everybody, yet still surprised most people with this squad that he's picked? I think that says a lot about the way he's handled this squad and who he's picked. Buckley, Maddison should be dropped, in my opinion, not been the same since he left Leicester. You know what? He started the season dead well, didn't he? But I wouldn't take him now. He would not be in my 26-man. Particularly in that area of the pitch. Any offensive player in this squad who goes out of the 26 must be playing on... There's too many good players to be picking players who aren't currently on form. Maddison doesn't fit that bill. He is not being on form. He should not go. There are far better players in that position. It's a position where we've got an abundance of talent. So just take the players that are on form. So absolutely right, Johnny. I'd drop Maddison. Could we play cardboard cutout of Ashley Cole at left back? I know. Yeah. I mean, if Luke Shaw's fit, it's a done deal, isn't it? It's a solid back four. I can't believe he's not took Chilwell. I can't believe I didn't clock that before coming live. I just cannot believe Chilwell's not in that squad. I can't believe it, given the injuries we have there. Maddison had mostly a good season and assisted England's last goal. Yeah, he's had an alright season, but come on, there's better players in that position. And does he get in? Does he honestly get in? Has he had a better end to the season than Eze? Or Gordon? Certainly not better than Palmer. Bowen, has he had a better season than Bowen? I don't think so. So, for me, Maddison doesn't go. Shaw will be fit and then injured again against Serbia. I mean, he's done it before, hasn't he? I think Harry Maguire at the last Euros and a few other players where he takes injured players, and if they get good, if they come good for the knockouts, they come good for the knockouts, and it's worked previously. He'll know, won't he? He'll know as soon as these players meet up. He'll know now, really, or he should do, what the prognosis is for Luke Shaw. He hasn't played, though, since February. That's a long time out. Do you think he will take 3 strikers? And I don't know. And I think that's arguably one of the toughest challenges he's got because, like I said, Ollie Watkins is great. He's absolutely unbelievable. But I think Ivan Toney fits the England system better. And I think that's where the dilemma is. The reality is neither of them get any games anyway. So we might be worrying about something that we shouldn't. So you would argue, let's take a player in a position where they're probably likely to actually come on and make an impact. Because he never takes Kane off. And does he ever play? I can't remember ever him playing 2 strikers, even when we've needed a goal. So it's a funny one. Imagine Maddison would be 4th or 5th choice. Yeah, he wouldn't go for me. True, James Maddison is one of the most underrated England players I have ever seen. Much better than Kane and Maguire. Maguire was solid when he came in after injury. Can players not in the provisional squad make the 26-man squad? I think they can, but it would be very unprecedented. Like I said, I think he's got until the 7th of June to name his formal squad. I believe they can, but I think it will be very unlikely. Unless there's some major catastrophic injuries, I can't see. I can't see anyone else coming in now. Particularly, let's be honest, there's no other games. The season's over. There's a few, obviously, few in the finals of the FA Cup or the Champions League. Well, Bellingham. But, yeah, the season's over, so I can't see a scenario where anyone really gets changed here. It's just, like I said, it's a bizarre squad. I mean, Southgate has picked 33 players and surprised everybody, which is a bizarre set of events and circumstances. But I think, is this a Euros winning squad? That's what I want to know. Is that the best pool of players, not the final 26, but is that the best pool of players in Europe at the moment? Does any other manager in Europe have a stronger contingent of players to choose from? It's a tough one. I mean, I think for strength and depth, England have the best forward line in the world. Absolutely. I think most of these players, and even players that aren't in the squad, such as maybe a Sancho, the way he's playing, Sterling, Rashford, even when they're not on form, I think in most squads, in most teams around the world, they still make a 33-man squad. Such is England's depth. Defence, not so much. I think you could argue probably a few nations have a stronger defence than us. No one's got a better forward line than us, though, in my opinion. That's my opinion. Overall, does that mean we've got the squad at the Euros? I don't know. I don't know. Harry Kane, Saka, Foden, Bellingham, Palmer, Watkins. I think every other nation is scared of this. We should get close. Wrap Declan Rice in cotton wool for the next month. I know, just don't let him out of the house. Don't let him out of the house because he's just all of a sudden Declan Rice and you would argue probably Trippier and Gomez are just so important because there's no backups for them. Dan Anderson, evening Gary, and all delighted with the squad. In all honesty, we've all asked for Gareth to pick on form, and he's obliged. He has. There's, like I said, are there any players there that don't deserve to be there? No. I mean, you could argue some players haven't played the minutes, or as many minutes. Maybe a Jack Grealish. You know, he's not had the best season, has he? But I mean, I'm struggling. I think this is a thoroughly deserved England squad. My brother-in-law's in France, aren't happy with the French defence, Gary, so don't worry, it's not just us. No, and that's the thing, you know, we're going on about as if every other nation in the world has amazing defences as well. I think defending as an art has gone out the window. I don't think many squads have these world-class defenders like we used to see in the 90s, and early noughties, I think a big, solid, strong defence is a bit of a thing of the past. So we're not. You're probably right there. We're not the only nation in there, and like I said, I mean, no manager in the world has got a better pool of forward players to choose from. That is the best squad in the world in the forward positions, without a doubt, in terms of strength and depth. Absolutely, without a doubt. I honestly, I can't think of any other nation that would get close to the quality, particularly and including the form that players have been in this season. There are a few players that don't deserve to be there, but it's not worth noting the overreaction unless they make it to the final 26. I'm surprised of how many he's chosen, because to cut 7 is quite a large amount, and I do wonder if, like I said, do they already know? As Southgate said, you're going to be part of this 33-man training squad, but you're not going to go to the Euros. Do 5 of them know? Like I said, I think some players are actually fighting for a position still. I think some of them know they're probably not going, such as Akwanza, Adam Wharton. I think he probably knows he's not going. So there's a couple in there, maybe a Henderson or a Ramsdale, I don't know. But I think a couple of them are still fighting for a position. You can pick several starting 11s from that list, and each look quite good. Absolutely. I agree, Gary, whilst it's not without its flaws, there's arguably the best pool of players in international football right now, let alone in Europe. We talked about war charts recently. I was told that Germany also do tournament war charts, so that's good to know. But I mean, England, it's such a good squad. I was reading this, I was getting so excited. It was getting drip-fed all throughout the day, and you was hearing, I think there were rumblings. The first one that came out was Henderson was dropped. That started to ping round on my phone, online, on Twitter. Henderson dropped. The Rashford one came quite late, and then who knew what was going off? I mean, the squad almost fully leaked before 2 p.m. So like I said, I don't know if Gareth Southgate had left it written on a fag packet. At one point, I did think Benson and Edges were going to get called up. It seemed like everybody had a call up, apart from Henderson and Rashford. But as it came out, it looked then like, it was a core base. I mean, I completely missed. I knew there was a gap at left back. I did completely miss Chilwell not being picked. I really did. And I just thought, given the lack of any other left backs, I thought Chilwell was in there. I'm even more gobsmacked now. I'm actually taking a breather to have a look at this squad and take it all in that he's not included. It's unbelievable, really is. Will Gomez be the second left back? Well, yeah. I mean, arguably, who else is there? The problem is there's no left-footed left back. And is that a problem? Is that really a problem? I mean, our starting left back isn't arguably going to be naturally a left back. So why Tyreek Mitchell or Chilwell did not get called up at all was surprising. But his performance against Brazil and Belgium was poor. He was really poor. And I think I said in the reaction video after those matches, he's arguably played himself out of the tournament. And there was a few others I mentioned as well. I did mention Conor Gallagher, but he's managed to hold on, I think, because of the lack of depth. But it certainly didn't affect Chilwell being cancelled from the squad, or pulled from the squad. So it's surprising that Gallagher's still there. Marcus Rashford, he came on and had that just a very Marcus Rashford 10-minute cameo, I believe, against Brazil, and did absolutely nothing. And I think it just more or less summed up Rashford's season. That was probably the point where he played himself out of the plane. It's just such a bizarre squad. I mean, it's a good one, and this isn't a criticism. It's a really good one, but there's just some surprising things. He's not safe. This is not a safe squad. Hardly any left backs, hardly any holding midfielders. This is not a safe squad. This is an attacking, all guns blazing squad. Because I don't think he's going to be dropping many forwards. I think out of the 7, I think the 3 or 4 are going to get dropped are going to be in defence. And I think there's only 2 or 3 in the midfield and forward line. And I think that says it all about the way Gareth Southgate is approaching this tournament. One surprise is no Levi Colwill. He could have played left back. Yeah, but I think he's been out for a while as well, hasn't he? I think Mitchell Mitchell was the surprise. I mean, if he goes 3 at the back, Jesus. I mean, I might as well stop making content, because I don't know if we can guess what Southgate's going to do. He won't go 3 at the back. It would be really surprising if he did, though. We've not played 3 at the back for a long time. England appear settled on the on the 4 at the back 4. So I'd be really surprised if he does do that. But the squad is lending itself to a back 3 at the minute. I think Southgate is all in on this one. Victory or bust. Yeah, it does feel like that, doesn't it? It feels like, look, I'm going out with a bang. I'm going out with a bang. And if I'm going out, I want to win the tournament and choose when I go. He's literally just saying, come and score more goals than us. That's what it feels like. So it's technically we have 7 midfielders there. I mean, Trent, Gallagher, Jones, Mainu, Rice, Adam Wharton. I mean, Maddison's a midfielder, isn't he? Yeah, maybe the 7 midfielders there. But there's not many holding midfielders. I mean, is Trent a holding midfielder? People will be looking at Trent there, but he's not really, is he? I mean, he likes to get forward. Gary, and we all know he gets criticised for his defensive role. Gary, on a scale of 1 to 10, how unashamedly excited are you for this Euros, mate? 10. 10. Even more so because this squad is a bit bonkers. It's a bit mad. And I'm loving it. Well, yeah, you could class Bellingham as well. Yeah, it's whether you count the number 10. I mean, Bellingham, Maddison, do they arguably play in the same area of the pitch? Yeah, Foden can come into central midfield as well. So there is a few midfielders, but not holding midfield. That's the problem. Or is it a problem? I mean, is he gonna play 2 holding midfielders? Is he gonna play 2 number 10s? Because who partners Declan Rice here? I mean, Kobe Mainu or Gallagher with Rice, and then whoever doesn't play out of Gallagher and Mainu's the backup, and then a number 10. Yeah, that's probably what he'll do, won't he? It's just madness. I just can't believe, like I said, and we all knew Phillips weren't going, but as soon as I knew Henderson wasn't going, I thought Dyer's got in, is back in. But I was just so shocked. I'll be honest with you, everyone's going to say Trent. I don't see a scenario where Trent comes in. He's not really a holding midfielder, in my eyes. He's far too offensive. He's not the strongest or the biggest. And it's not that I don't rate him, but I think he's a bit of a luxury player. I think he's a great passer, long range passer. I don't think I don't know. I just don't see Trent coming in. He'll go. I mean, he'll go to the 26-man squad, but I don't see a scenario where I start Trent in midfield. I mean, imagine if... I mean, who knows now? Who knows? I think some of the players, though, do definitely know they're not going. And I do think there's a couple of places up for grabs. Trent won't start. I don't think Trent will start a single game in this Euros. I think it'll be Gallagher or Mainu alongside Rice. Yeah, maybe he is, but then you would argue with England's attacking play. So someone's asked, is Trent somebody you bring on when chasing a goal? Someone who can whip a great crossing? Arguably, but then why wouldn't you bring on an Ollie Watkins, a Cole Palmer, a Eze, a Bowen? Why wouldn't you bring one of those on above Rice, above Trent if you need a goal? Rice reads the game from deep. I don't see Trent able to do that. I don't see Trent as an holding midfielder at all. But he does go, but I just don't see where he plays for England. I really don't. If you could only play one of them, would you play Bellingham or Foden? Bellingham. I think Bellingham's a better all-round player. But I don't know. Who cares? Either are quality. Trent went all through the Liverpool academy being a holding midfielder. It was Klopp that made him a right back. Yeah, but I still don't see it as his strongest role. I don't. I'd have Loftus-Cheeks over Gallagher, man. Well, we never mentioned him. I don't know. The thing is, Gallagher, he's had a good season for Chelsea. He has had a good season for Chelsea. He just doesn't do it for England. Or he hasn't done it for England yet. But he has put in better performances for Chelsea this season than the games he's shown for England. But he's only played a couple of games for England. I would start Kobe Mainoo. I would start Kobe Mainoo alongside Rice. I would take Branthwaite at the back, and I would choose between Gahey and Konza. Flip a coin. Dunk goes, get dropped. Kwanzaa gets dropped as well. And then I would drop Adam Wharton, Curtis Jones, and then I can't bring myself to Maddison get drops. I don't take him. I just find that forward line really difficult to decide who I'd drop. Loftus-Cheek had an injury and wasn't playing that well towards the end. I mean, what's everybody else's thoughts? I mean, is this a squad that you was expecting? Do you think it does show a change in Southgate's mentality? Is this a last throw of the dice, as it were, for Gareth Southgate to finally win the Euros or a tournament for England? Should Southgate stay on after the Euros or only if we win it? It does feel like he's just saying, look, I've tried it this way. And I don't agree Southgate's a defensive coach. I think he's been unfairly labelled as that. He wasn't defensive in the World Cup. But this seems like he's really going for it, doesn't it? It just seems like he's really going to go for it now. Trent is clear of Gallagher. Yeah, arguably. Yeah, arguably. But he's I don't know. If we win, he should 100% stay on. Absolutely no question. Andrew Rutherford, I say if Kane doesn't play any games, then give Bellingham the captaincy for maybe one game, certainly for a friendly game anyway, just to see how it goes. Bellingham probably isn't going to play either friendly, given the fact he is playing in the Champions League final, or likely to play in the Champions League final. So I doubt Bellingham would be... Yeah, I doubt he's playing in Newcastle or at Wembley. He may come on second half at Wembley, but I don't. If you're wanting to go and see Jude Bellingham in the next two friendlies before the Euros, these next two games I don't think are going to be it. Feels like he's searching for answers in the problem areas during the friendlies, i.e. Mainoo, Gallagher, Jones, or all auditioning to be Rice's partner. Yeah, I think that's a fair point, and I think they are, absolutely. Bellingham should be okay to play an Iceland game. Maybe. Why stretch him though? He's starting, isn't he? He's starting. Just give him the week off. That's what I'd do. Let's have a look at some of these other players who are fighting for their position. Maybe an Eze or Palmer. I'd love to see. I want to see Palmer have a proper run out in an England shirt before the tournament. So, I mean, it's an interesting squad. That's about it. I will be doing a video on this, so I'll put this, for those that don't want to watch this whole live stream again, I'll be doing a reaction video where I give my thoughts on some of these players. I'd like to see Eze go as well, Colin. I would. I'd like to see him go, but it just feels like one of those players who's probably going to struggle with it. It's just, again, the area of the pitch he plays in. He's probably going to struggle being in that area of the pitch. But it's just so good. He's such a good squad. It is such a good squad. Rice is surely the obvious captain. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of being bothered who's the captain. It doesn't really bother me who the captain is. I mean, there's a few captains in there: Harry Maguire, Kane, Rice. So it's not. I don't sit here and think whoever's captain makes or breaks this England squad or match-winning, performances or whatever. It's just, we've just got to do it now. If it's now or never. Southgate believes it's now or never. That's what this squad says to me. A now or never squad. He's got all the chess pieces, arguably, apart from maybe some left-back options. But he's probably looking at everyone else's defence and saying, look, they're not all singing or dancing. Most defences in this Euros are going to have vulnerabilities. Let's just go with attack is our best form of defence. In your opinion, who should have been picked that hasn't? No one. Maybe Tyreek Mitchell or a Chilwell, just because of the lack of depth. So maybe Dunk comes out for another left back, Mitchell or Chilwell. And I don't like Chilwell, but I just feel like we've got no left backs. But other than that, I don't disagree with any of it. Gary, the under-17 Euros is on right now. BBC are showing the England game versus France. 0 after 2 minutes. What's after 2 minutes? It's cut off. Are we winning? I mean, in all the excitement, I've completely missed that. I did see that the under-17 or under-18 girls got to the final and got beat by Spain. That's starting to become a familiar feeling. 1-0 France versus England after 2 minutes. What's with Sancho? I mean, what do you think, Andrew? Do you think he deserves a call up? Looking at that, who would you swap? Who would you swap Sancho out for? I mean, I think it's the right call on Sancho. You can't just have 5 or 6 good games and get. I mean, you could argue he's been better than that, but there's no one in that forward line. I think maybe Jack Grealish, but Jack Grealish offers something completely different. 1-0 to England after 2 minutes, brilliant stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's particularly bothered about Sancho. Sterling, no one's even mentioned him. Nobody's even mentioning him. And you could say rightly so, but that's a big player in the past who's been one of England's star men. And he pulled out of that squad, a year and a half ago, and Southgate, he's just never given him a look in since. It's just ridiculous, that attacking talent up front. 1-0. Okay, I might have a watch of that then. Right, it's been absolutely... Sancho hasn't actually been that good. He had 2 good Champions League games, but has been poor in the league. I've watched him multiple times and he's been awful. I just don't think he deserves a call up above some of these other players. Bowen has had a great season. I mean, Bowen should be going. Bowen 100% should be going, but he's probably not going to go, is he? Because of the other talent there. The more I'm looking at this, Maddison has to come out as well. Game management is so key because we've seen before how some top teams nullify England's play. I wouldn't say that I can't think... France certainly didn't nullify our play. We had plenty of opportunities to draw and win that game. And we had more of the ball than France, and I think we looked threatening. I think we looked a better team than France for most part. So I don't think any team contains England. I think they're going to need the rub of the green, and I think they're going to need a bit of luck. And usually England don't get that bit of luck. And I think that's what we need now. Bit of luck, we win this. Hudson-Odoi, yeah, I mean, he's had a good season, but who does he come in for? Who does he come in for, Colin? That's the problem. Any more attacking midfielders who've even had a very good season, you just think, right, fair enough, but then who do you take out? Because all of those players in there deserve their call-up, 100%. Hello, AJ. Nice for you to join. We're just actually coming towards the end of the stream. I remember the Italy game in the second half last Euros. Well, yeah, but that's 4 years ago now. It's a long time ago, and England have moved on since then. And the way England went out of the World Cup was not the same way they went out of the Euros. I'd put Bowen at 7th choice wide at the minute, not including Bellingham, who's a midfielder. The problem is he's had such a good season, Bowen. I wouldn't want to leave him out, but he might have to be. We're so stacked in that forward line. But Southgate is saying, I don't care about left back or the defence really. As long as I've got my 3 or 4 solid players, it's down to the midfield and forwards to do the magic. I think he's definitely going to play 4 at the back, and I think England are going to go for it. I think England are going to 100% go for it. He's got no choice now. Picking this squad, he can't play it safe. There's no option to play it safe now for Gareth Southgate. So for those Southgate haters, or those people that criticise him for being negative, it doesn't matter what happens. He physically can't. He hasn't picked the chess pieces to go negative. It can only be one way now. He has to play to that squad. He hasn't got numerous holding midfielders or different fullbacks or something. It's all out attack. It's got to be all out attack. Well, not all out attack, but it's got to be more of an emphasis on England's attacking threat to nullify the opposition's attacking threat. Jacopoli, absolutely wild take here. You know how we're already stacked for wingers and we haven't got any left backs. Bukayo Saka used to play left wing when he was younger. Thoughts? I mean, he did, but the problem is that we don't really play. I mean, we do sort of play wing backs, but maybe. But I can't see him playing unless there's an absolute mass injury crisis. I can't see him playing there. So it's a good shout, but it's just bizarre. It is just bizarre that a Chilwell or a Tyreek Mitchell haven't gone, particularly Tyreek Mitchell, given the fact that he's left-footed. I do find that really difficult to understand. Can I just say England fans must be on the best behaviour throughout? That does matter. England fans are the best behaved. There's never any trouble with England fans there. The biggest problems at the minute are in Italy and Germany, really. The Germans at the minute, they're tearing the places to pieces. They were terrible when they came to Wembley as well. England fans are never any bother. I called out a Southgate hater for his out-of-date criticism after my response to his response. He made his Twitter private. Okay, well, I just think I get people's criticism of Southgate. He can't be criticised for it anymore because he's literally given himself no other option apart from to play that offensive line, that offensive way. He just hasn't got there's going to be no criticism of him playing a Henderson, a Phillips, whatever. He can't. It's just that is the squad, and most people would have picked that squad. It's there to be won now. The emphasis is on the attack. Give the opposition more to worry about than what we've got to worry about on them. And I think it's just we'll score more goals than you. And I think that's the thing. We've got to put into context. There's no other squad in Europe that has a really amazing defence. I mean, there's better defences than England's, but there's none there that I think this England squad couldn't unlock. Or certainly that's, a defence that would win you the Euros. I think all squads have a defensive problem. And I think all Southgate's doing is acknowledging that it's the same for England, so why not play to our strengths? And I think it's a great call. He's been forced, though, to pick these players because there's so many players, not only on form, but truly in the form of their life. I mean, Ollie Watkins, you just can't ignore him. Cole Palmer, he cannot be ignored. It's just unbelievable. Eze cannot be ignored. Bowen cannot be ignored. Bellingham cannot be ignored. There's a lot of players here that are just playing out of their skin and have been all season. Southgate just has to make the right changes during matches. Easier said than done. Yeah, and I think that's the criticism. Reactive rather than proactive has been the biggest criticism for Southgate. When a game is turning, or when the opportunity to seize a game is there, or when an opposition team is coming back into it, Southgate historically has not made any changes until it's too late, until we've either conceded or there's very few limited time to go. I absolutely agree with you. That is my one big criticism of Southgate, and that I share with other people. Southgate in the past has been far too late making changes to change the course of a game in England's favour. That's what needs to happen. I 100% agree with you there. Whether he does or not, though, I think it's difficult to say. We won't know, will we? The group's going to be no problem. The group is going to be absolutely no problem at all. There's no way England get grouped. I'll quit YouTube if England get grouped. I'll quit. Maybe. But it's just not happening. We're getting out of the group. It's balancing it then for those knockout rounds. But final thoughts from everybody before we end the live stream. I just think it's been an excellent day, excellent squad, full of surprises. I'll say again, a 33-man squad that he's basically picked everybody, but then also surprised everybody at the same time because the players missed out. So that's some achievement from Gareth Southgate to pick a massive squad and then still shock people. I think that says absolutely everything. And it just adds to the excitement of the tournament. Like I said, 7th of June, this squad will be reduced to a 26-man squad. Who's that going to be? Who do we want it to be? I think 3 or 4 of those are coming out of defence. Adam Wharton in midfield, and then maybe a Maddison or, I don't know, an Eze, Gordon. One of those drops out as well. Totally agree that we need to play to our strengths. Best of luck to Gareth and the boys. Come on, England. Absolutely agree. And that is probably the best part and the best area to end this live stream. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'll be dropping a video regarding this squad probably tomorrow. And then I'll be dropping a preview episode of England's up-and-coming matches in Newcastle, of course, and against Iceland. So let me just get some dates up for you. So yeah, England-Bosnia, I'll do a preview of that. Then I'll do a preview of England versus Iceland. And then I will also do a video on my reaction to this squad as a whole. It's an overreaction to say after we start against Belgium, that Kobe Manu should start alongside Rice and Bellingham. I feel there's definitely nailed on to go now. Yeah, no, I don't think it's an overreaction. I think it's an area of the pitch where we don't do very well, and that was a good quality opposition. If you're good enough, you're old enough. I think chuck him in. Andrew Woodifirth, let's all fly the flag with pride. Absolutely. Cheers, Gary. Well done on the 2K. Thank you so much. Great stream. Nice one. Thank you. Yeah, so I did just very briefly before I end, I did reach 2K this week. Thank you all so much once again for anyone who subscribed. I know all you guys that are commenting and subscribe because I've set it so you've got to comment. And this is what it's all about. Same faces coming on. It's a real community. If you're sat here watching this live stream and you're not subscribed, just hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free. It massively helps me out. It just gives me that emphasis to keep on going because this is hard work, being, working full time and just doing this for the passion and the joy of it. If you want to keep up to date with England, I know you want to keep up to date with everything else, but I'm your guy for your England content. Hit that. So even if you don't like England, just come here for the bants, argue back with me. It's all chatting about the national teams, the love of national football. And it's the place to be here, or one of the places to be on YouTube for Euro 2024 from an England perspective. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't done already. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all probably tomorrow night, not on a live stream, but on my reaction video to this. And then I hopefully see you all at the games coming up. So thank you all so much. Have a good evening. Thank you very much.